I
live.
do see the public chat. So we are live. Do we just start
It
the
also
show immediately?
tells us. Oh, we don't have to. We can
Oh,
talk.
okay.
We can iron it out if you want. I think it also tells you above there, beside the. You should see. Well, I don't know what you guys can see, but can you see the Twitch and YouTube logos at the top?
You have to. No.
No, I
We
just
see like
public
it
chat.
says chat, and you click on public chat.
Right now,
and,
there is nothing
yeah.
in the public chat. So.
Correct.
Well,
but that's where it'll come up, and then when somebody puts something,
well,
then
this is
it'll tell you
outside.
where they're posting it on.
This is what I'm talking about is outside of that chat window. It's like right above our purple box at the top corner. I have like the percent uploaded and then also the amount of viewers that we have. Right now, we don't have anybody.
Okay, I don't have that.
I don't have that.
But last episode, you were able to take people's comments and put them on the screen. That worked. I could see that when you did that.
Okay. Yeah, and all I did with that, I think, if you highlight one of the comments, you can. It's below. It says show on stream, which I don't know if you guys have the option to do.
No.
That. Okay. Well, then I guess I can do that from here and there. But
my hair's kind of crazy too. Jeez.
It's all right.
All right, Flightsy's on.
Flightsy is there.
What's up, Flightsy?
He's got a list for us, I'm sure.
He does.
He is supposed to have a list. Yeah. He said he was making one.
I added him to the show notes. Flightsy's live list.
Okay. He also has
we're Dan list tonight, Flightsy.
He also has an article that I posted to have scheduled. It should be out. It came out at 9:00.
Do you want to add that to like housekeeping? Should we put? I put new RetroLogic content coming. I kind of left that note in here.
We could talk about it after the show. I'll post a link to the Substack with the picture like I normally do.
Okay.
I still got all my Breath of the Wild music in here. We can. Oh, Sam didn't get to hear the new. I pulled some stuff to a soundboard, so we have like the.
Oh, okay.
I love how well that works and how I can hear it.
They're a little loud.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm still playing with the volume, the sound volume here.
Stay a while and listen.
That one's kind of quiet.
Okay.
If I go too low, or those Zelda ones just really loud?
Now they're kind of quiet. I mean, I can hear them.
Metroid is still pretty loud.
Yeah, Metroid's loud.
Yeah.
Set to remember that. Oh, I got this one too. Samuel.
What are you buying?
I got a Mario coin. I got the Donkey Kong ones for Dan.
Donkey Kong noises are just great. They have a great seasoning for everything.
Ooh, banana.
Yeah, I could have grabbed that one, but I missed it. And then, so we've got a few sound effects. I don't know what we're going to use them for yet, but I have the options, so I was playing around with it.
Well, Flightsy says he's pulling a list from the archive this time.
Oh.
Updating the prices, and then he wants to see if we can guess the theme. And of course, because we're on Twitch, we got some spam.
That's all right.
Pikmin noises? Ooh, yeah, we probably do need some Pikmin noises, don't we, Flightsy?
I wonder if I can
just make our own.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not all that familiar with any of these live platforms, so I don't know if I can kick that person out or not.
Well, you definitely can.
Yeah. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can do that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons I switched to YouTube only.
Well, I didn't know how many people we would have.
I think it's good to have variety. Last time
it definitely gets it out to more people.
Both, yeah.
I mean, I guess as long as this thing sitting there spamming a bunch of junk on there. It's okay. Just hang out until I figure it out later.
So I guess Flightsy's list is from his own archive. Ones he made a bunch of them a couple years back, but never sent them to us. So it'll be brand new to us. His archive. I love that he's sitting on a bunch of them too. That's just awesome.
Yeah, he's always got a plan.
Yep.
Okay. Well, whenever you guys are ready, I'm ready.
I mean, we're kind of just doing a round table. This will probably turn into on-topic modern adventures of Elliot, I guess, but
There'll
I think we've all
probably be
been
some good
playing
amount
it.
of that, but I've got a few things. I jotted down a couple of games I've been.
Sid Stan's not on to break up our monopoly on gameplay that we usually have. All right, so Sam, I'll kick the music in, and then you can just
after the music.
Well, it's just like how we would normally do, except for you don't normally hear the music, but when you listen to the episode, you let the beginning part of it, and then it'll start to fade off towards the beginning there, and then you can start in. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Welcome to RetroLogic. I'm Sam Wagers here with Shannon Eno and John Cummins for our 150th episode. And we've just got a whole bunch of stuff we've been playing. We're just catching up. A lot of games, old and new. A lot of games in the pipeline coming out that we're excited for. And a lot of Community Couch. But before we get to that, how are you guys tonight?
Hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are at the start of a major heat wave here.
Heat waves hitting all of us. It's hitting like everyone, everywhere.
Yeah,
some
Europe
worse than
been
others.
Struggling for a while.
I guess at least my state is not on fire, like Adam posted earlier.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's always
crazy.
Fun
Keep
times,
safe out
I'm
there,
sure.
guys.
Yeah, I mean, we complain about the heat and the humidity, but turns out when you have no humidity, it's even worse because then you get wildfires.
That is true. We don't have to worry about that right now. We're playing video games.
That's right. And remember, RetroLogic is not just a podcast; it is a whole community of retro gamers. We'll be hearing from some of our friends from the Discord tonight on the Community Couch. But we have an active, friendly, and free Discord with giveaways, contests, and a whole family of retro podcasts, including Retro Groove, all about music and music history. On Topic Retro, our John's own show about one video game per episode. And I think we're at the end of the hero becoming the hero, right? Just Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Just Tears of the Kingdom, yep.
Because we did do Echoes of Wisdom.
We already did it
right after it came out. I was on for that one. Of course, we'll keep up with the Retro Rewind as well. So we've got Galaxy Challenge still going, right?
Ongoing till the 11th.
Most stars,
10th.
secret
10th.
number of stars, raffle, and there's like 4 different ways to win, I think.
3 different ways to win. So
just
most,
3. Okay.
Most stars, which we've already had at least 2 or 3 people submit perfect star counts. So they're going to be entered into a drawing of their own. As I came up with those rules on the fly at the beginning, because I figured we might have some extras, or at least Flightsy did. And then the second one is a random number that I believe Tim is going to generate.
Right. So it's a secret.
Nintendo
It's a secret to everyone.
Secret to everyone. I don't even know. I don't think. Maybe he told me and I forgot. So that's about as good as not knowing. And then the last one is a lotto of anybody who submits a score. If you get 1 star, post a picture of it, send it in, it counts. You get put into the to the raffle of whoever submits. So right now I've only got maybe 4 or 5 entries. And if you win the most stars or closest to the star count, you can't win the lotto. So you have a really good chance right now. If you just
Yeah.
put in, you've got like a 1 in 3.
That's right. I mean, even if you only get a couple stars, you still have a chance to win. So
That's right. Everybody has a
And
chance.
you played one of the best Mario games, so really you already won
That's a winner.
just by
yeah.
doing that.
it's true.
However you play it.
And I guess we do need to thank the Nintendo dads for kind of hopping in and blowing up our contest and adding 2 more prizes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right. And John, you also have been putting out some articles, I think, as well.
Not just me, the RetroLogic media team / On Topic Retro media team. If you go to in the Discord, I guess there's a naming convention that Flightsy brought up. It's in the Discord. I'm calling it the RetroLogic media team because we are RetroLogic as a whole as a server, so it just seemed to make sense. But on my On Topic Retro Substack, which is not directly tied to RetroLogic, I did it beforehand, so I kind of branded it under the On Topic branding. That website has the On Topic retro media team, but they are one and the same. That's just how they're named on the website. But anyway, it is a group of us, and we're all putting forth effort to bring articles. Hopefully, at least weekly. We've been doing pretty good. We've been hitting with the contributions of everybody. We've been hitting at least an article every 3 days, and that's anything from game reviews to hardware reviews. Flightsy's newest article that he just put out was just a write up of his experience collecting stars in Super Mario Galaxy. He puts up a graph on the rate of how many stars he was getting per day. He goes into some math. But it can really just be about anything we feel like writing about. And it's usually game related and it's usually fun. So it's definitely worth checking out.
He does say he's there in the chat, so he said he's tying it to his articles to the RetroLogic podcast releases, not necessarily the On Topic Retro releases.
Correct. So. Yeah, he's trying to plan a column that will be reoccurring for every 2 weeks to line up with the RetroLogic episode.
As long as we let him know what we're talking about.
Well, I don't know that he's for sure even trying to match our topic. I think he just wants to match the cadence of when we put the episode out, kind of just as a supplementary piece to the show, which is fine. I told him as long he can write about whatever he wants to. I told all you guys that.
Yeah, it's a good time. So yeah, be sure to check all that out. Links to that in the Discord and also on the website. Yes.
I'm still working with Dan trying to get the link on the website, but it is just On Topic Retro at Substack. So you should be able it. Now I will warn you, it is kind of hard to find it through Google, but if you go to Substack and you search for On Topic Retro, you'll find it there.
Yeah. So search through Substack.
Correct.
Or follow the Discord links.
Yeah.
They show up in the Discord channel.
Yep. And if you're not a part of our Discord, there's plenty of ways to join that too. Links and stuff everywhere.
All right. Anything else I'm forgetting for housekeeping?
We can mention we did just release the Breath of the Wild episode. I mean, we kind of mentioned it, but that's pretty recent. That's within the last week. And On Topic Retro did its first live episode as well last week. And I feel like it went pretty good. What about it? I mean, there's definitely a lot more levers to pull for that show because I had to pull all of the pieces of the OST in to be able to have the break music included. So there was a little bit of a learning curve on getting some of that out there correctly, but I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I have not listened yet, so I don't know, but it sounds like you did pretty good.
I'm hoping. I didn't listen back to the whole 2 hours. I kind of skimmed through, but it sounded like it was doing pretty good. it's definitely different from having to go, kind of behind the curtains peek of throwing all the music into the episode after we recorded it and creating my own breaks kind of in there. So
It does
having
change how that works, having to do it
it,
live.
it does, yeah. You have to figure that stuff out. So I think we did it the best we could, and or at least the best we could for the first try. It'll probably get smoother transition wise as we go on, but it definitely makes editing a lot better. Kind of went in and cleaned up the beginning and the end, and then we were pretty much set with everything in the middle.
Okay. Lots of content over at all the different mini arms of the RetroLogic octopus. But with all that said, before we get to our show topic, we always have our favorite game, The Price is Retro.
That's right.
If this is your first time playing along,
Hey, hold on a minute. We have to do it, man. You can't
right.
just
You
jump
have to
right
do.
in there.
See, I'm used to just jumping in.
I know.
I'm not. This is my first live show.
This is, yeah. We got to start it all over again. Here
Well,
we
technically
go.
not.
I mean, I could start the show all over again. I have the ability to do that too. But we'll just do the Price is Retro instead.
All right, if this is your first time playing along, this is how we play. I'm going to list off 4 or 5 games. Everyone has to guess how much the lot is worth in total. Whoever is closest to the actual value wins that round. Everyone has a list, and everyone guesses on each other's list. At the end, the player that wins the most rounds wins the episode, but watch out for our robot, Deus Ex Machina, who averages all the other guesses to make his own. The Leonard, the dinosaur, who adds up the original retail cost approximately, and our ghost Poltergeist, the OG ghost player, who just always guesses 300, and I think has the best win rate out of all 3 of them.
I don't know. Here lately, the dinosaur has been.
Leonard's got some wins.
Leonard, he has.
That's true.
Leonard
I think we started going lower a lot of the time because we kind of used all the expensive games. I think, but we'll see. We'll shake it up.
I know, yeah, because I think he won the last episode, didn't he? Because he and I tied.
Yeah, very close.
And then but he was closer.
Oh, he was like a few cents off of that one.
Yeah,
I think
it was crazy.
The AI rampage is it's not just a problem in the video game market. It's also a problem here at RetroLogic.
It's taking over. It's taking our jobs. They'll just host the show.
It's guessing games better than we can ever guess.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure if you plugged in an AI, but then it would probably just do an actual Google search. It would cheat.
It would, yeah. We wouldn't be able to do that.
You could ask an AI to guess.
That
would be, yeah. It'd be weird to try to create one that guesses imprecisely. Yeah. Try to train one to guess according to some weird reasoning. I don't know. It wouldn't make any sense. You'd always suspect it of cheating. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like the CPU in Dokapon Kingdom. You always suspect it of cheating.
Dokapon Kingdom. We have some things to talk about there in the what we
that's true. We'll get to it. But first, The Price is Retro. That's what we're doing right now. I'm just going to give my list because I already moved over to that tab and it's in front of me.
There you go.
Another game that we're probably going to talk about is Adventures of Elliot. So I made a list of games that all start with the words Adventures of in the title. Ooh, and that's the plural, adventures. No Zelda 2 Adventure of Link. That's one adventure.
I thought you were going to give me a
list
list
to be
of
more
games,
than one.
With Elliot in the title.
I don't know that there's 4 of those.
I know at least one. There is a Bill Elliott racing game on the NES.
Oh, there you go. That would be a fun
2 T's though, I think.
That would be a fun list, I guess.
I don't suppose there's an ET game with Elliot's name in there, right?
No, yeah.
I see Flightsy saying train a model only on past Prices Retro guesses. That could be interesting. What if you actually trained a model based on each of us? And then like anytime like Dan's not here or I'm not here, you can
You
just,
can just run the Dan bot.
You can just replace me with Robo Sam.
Oh boy.
It's an idea.
don't
Anyway, my list starts with Adventures of Lolo 2 because I just felt like skipping Adventures of Lolo 1. For the NES loose. These are actually all going to be loose. So Adventures of Lolo 2, Adventures of Dino Ricky for the NES, loose, once again. Adventures of Bayou Billy for the NES, loose. This was a big thing on the NES. Adventures of
Adventures
people.
of.
And lastly, breaking the NES trend, Adventures of Batman and Robin for the Super Nintendo. Once again, loose. Because I shop for cartridge games loose. So that's usually how I make my lists.
That was for Super Nintendo?
Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Yep.
Shoot. I just saw that for sale at my local too. Because I almost picked it up.
I did too.
And I can't remember what it was.
Who's going first? Am I going first or Shannon?
You go first, John.
I think I'm going to go 115.
115, okay.
I have 155.
115, 155. We'll have to check the Rampage Trio. The total value is $205.50.
Ooh.
Okay, so.
So while he's calculating that, the breakdown is Adventures of Lolo 2, $39.99. Adventures of Dino Ricky, $12.60. Adventures of Bayou Billy, $7.84. And Adventures of Batman and Robin at $145.07.
That's the one that
maybe I should go back because I don't know that mine had it.
I think I've seen it for cheaper recently. I mean, price charting it lags behind trends. So
but also my local usually goes with price charting, but it may have been sitting there for a little bit. And
that's how you get
price
them.
Charting is gone.
Price fluctuates, and then you get it for a little bit, or it could go the other way. It can go down, and then they still got it priced highly. Leonard actually took that round. He was only off by $10.50.
Wow.
Leonard is just on fire.
Dang.
We were just talking about it.
Yep.
He's already struck once.
Darn it. I would have had it too. And just as an aside, Flightsy did find out that there are, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 games with the title of Elliot, or with Elliot in the title from price charting. So enough for a PR.
Yeah, there is enough for a list.
Yeah, you can do 3. I would not use Adventures of Elliot because a game that just came out is not a very exciting
but still
choice. But
we can wait a little while.
Yeah. All right, John, your list next.
Okay, so my list, it kind of ties into our topic for tonight because I just so happened to I played another game other than the Adventures of Elliot through this week, and that is Shadow of the Colossus. So it got me thinking about games that have a unique climbing mechanic, or just a really well done climbing mechanic in some cases. So here's my list. The first game is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. And this could really go for any Assassin's Creed game. This is just the one that I chose. This is PlayStation 3 and complete in box.
Okay.
The next game is Zelda Breath of the Wild. And to make this interesting, this is the special edition. And it's complete in box. Because remember, I think there was 3. There was the standard edition, the special edition, and the master edition. So this would be the one that's in the middle.
I have no idea what that's going for anymore.
The next game is Uncharted Drake's Fortune for the PlayStation 3 complete in box. The next game is Tomb Raider for the PlayStation 3, complete in box. This is the first of the newer trilogy. And then the last game is, of course, Shadow of the Colossus for the PlayStation 2, complete in box.
Okay. You know, when you said unique climbing mechanics, I thought of DK King of Swing. So this was a very different direction.
I guess I should say closer to Shadow of the Colossus, not arcadey climbing.
All right. So I have $210.
And I have $156.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, so Shannon, you said 210.
210.
And then Sam, you said
156.
56. Sorry, I was putting in Leonard's count. I didn't do that earlier. Okay. So the total lot, our total value of my lot is 176.33.
I think I overvalued the Zelda a little bit.
So let's see. Sam is $20.33 off.
I'm more than that.
And yeah, no, the dyno's way over at $290. So he's like $113 off. So Sam,
yeah, these are more recent games, so he's a bit higher than usual.
That is true.
It didn't. Robot didn't get it, did it? For average, how close was that? How close?
Oh wait, actually,
yeah,
yes.
he would cut the difference between us. So yeah,
Robot got it.
I would go to.
We're starting off bad. We're losing.
Yeah, we're not doing so well here.
It's not great.
You guys gotta do well on mine, and somebody's gotta do well on Flightsy's, just for us to
tie
at this point.
But the dinosaur was only $10 off on one, and I feel like the robot was only like $5 off. So yeah, we're gonna have to try a little harder on this next list.
All right. Save us, Shannon.
Yeah.
Give us a list they can't guess.
Did you give your breakdown though, John?
Oh no, I did not. Hold on. Let me do that real quick. Okay, so Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag for the PlayStation 3, complete in box, $6.50.
I knew that was going to be low.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Special Edition, complete in box for the Nintendo Switch, is $130.12.
Okay, yeah. I went too high.
Yeah, I was definitely low on
that. Next game, Uncharted Drake's Fortune for the PlayStation 3, complete in box, $8.27.
I was almost right on with 10.
Next game is Tomb Raider for the PlayStation 3, complete in box, $9.94. And then the last game is Shadow of the Colossus for the PlayStation 2, complete in box, $21.50.
Crap. So yeah, it was Zelda that got me. I knew the rest of them were pretty
You
low.
were probably thinking of the Master set because it's
quite
a bit more valuable.
Even with you saying it was the middle one, I couldn't remember what came in each of those two. So
yeah,
I just went a little high.
That's all right. We got ground to catch up.
The robot might do the worst, Flightsy, but here it was almost right on. So just depends on our guesses.
Yep.
All right. Here goes mine. So this is the third of my trilogy of games featured in the an episode of Nick Arcade. So I'll come up with something different next time, but it's kind of fun.
This is fun. I like these ones.
I'll do them from time to time, but I won't do them every time. But we are going to do it here. All right. So these are all loose. First one is Airbuster for the Sega Genesis. Second one is Bonk's Revenge for TurboGrafx 16. Third game is Turrican for the Amiga. Fourth game is Arcus Odyssey for the Sega Genesis. And the fifth game is Blues Journey for the Neo Geo CD.
Oh gosh.
I could have picked just about any version of the Neo Geo, but just for fun today, I did the CD.
I have first guess. The Neo Geo, I don't know.
That could be all over the place.
It really could.
Neo Geo CD at that.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess 370.
All right.
I think I'm going to go 320.
All right. So, thankfully, one of you was almost right on, and that was Sam. So, value came to $376.65.
That was
So
a last
humanity
minute
does have a
increase.
chance.
That was a last minute increase.
And the most valuable, probably not what you were expecting, actually. But first of all, does anything? None of the
Oh,
trio
man.
gets it, does it?
No, Sam
Don't-
just barely won because Littered was only $13 off.
Whoa!
Wow.
And it's because of that Neo Geo game.
Wow! Okay, well, so I will tell you the Neo Geo is not actually the most valuable on here.
Well, Sam won by $7.
Really? Because
Wow.
I mean, Bonk's Revenge is. I mean, that's. I mean, I had that at like probably like
It's
just
probably
under
the
100.
first game. What is that
but-
first game?
Okay, so Airbuster for Sega Genesis, $46.61.
Okay.
Bonk's Revenge for TurboGrafx 16, $52.45.
Well, that's lower than I thought.
Turrican for the Amiga, $129.60.
Yeah.
It came out on just about everything. The Amiga was actually the most valuable of the different versions.
Yeah, that makes sense.
See, I was thinking because I know it's expensive everywhere else it came out typically.
Yeah, but it was
especially
definitely
like the other
more-
games. But Amiga is something a lot of people don't collect.
Yeah.
But a lot of those games aren't worth anything.
Right.
Yeah, but you got it. I think it's a combination of the game is good and people do want it,
Yeah.
but they didn't want it back then. So there's probably not that many
Yeah.
Amiga copies out, or not very many people had an Amiga.
Right.
So there's not that many copies out there compared to like the Super Nintendo and Genesis versions.
Arcus Odyssey for Sega Genesis, a game I was not really familiar with, $79.99. And the last one, Blues Journey for Neo Geo CD, $68.
That's not too bad.
No, the other versions were a lot higher than that. Like the cart version was like, upwards of $300.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So
That's not one of the ones that's being reproduced either.
no. It looks like an interesting game. I've never played it, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we have a guest list from Flightsy. He's in the chat, so
I think it's
this is the hope of humanity. It's all on me, so
it's going to come in live.
let me
through the
apologize
chat.
in advance.
We're
I don't
ready
think
when
I
you
can
are,
defend
Flightsy.
humanity from the AI dinosaurs.
That's right.
Man, if I could figure out a way to add another member to the Rampage, we might have to turn this into a team game
Right.
where it's
Yeah.
us versus them.
All right. So first game from Flightsy is Kirby Mass Attack for the DS, complete in box. Game 2, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror for the GBA, complete in box.
Ooh.
Game 3, Legend of Zelda: Four Swords Adventures for GameCube, complete in box. Game 4, Mercury Meltdown Revolution for the Wii, complete in box. And Game 5, Kingdom Hearts 2 for the PS2, complete in box. The whole time I'm trying to figure out what the
Theme.
theme is here. I thought at first it was going to be like games that are typically one player but can have, or that are multiplayer, and then I thought, is Kirby's Mass Attack actually multiplayer?
No.
I couldn't remember.
No, it isn't.
When I started thinking about it, I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. So then we got to the other ones. I was like, no, that's not it.
I don't know anything about Mercury Meltdown,
It's a dancing game, isn't it?
but
Or
the
rhythm
rest of these involve like the main character getting split into multiple
split
copies,
into other copies,
including
yes.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yes. I forgot. Yep. One character becoming multiple characters.
Flightsy says the Mass Attack is a
Single player. Yeah. As soon as I started thinking about that, I was like, yeah.
I like Kirby Mass Attack. It's a cool game.
Okay, I got
DS games are just so fun, very experimental.
I gotta try to get my.
You had Mass
total
Attack and Canvas Curse on the DS, which were both very fun Kirby spin-offs. Okay, so who's guessing first?
I'm still getting my total out here real quick.
Yeah, Mercury Meltdown is like a monkey ball. Yeah, like Marble Madness.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
Kinda
it was
thing.
a rhythm game for some reason.
And that is the theme. Okay, I wasn't sure about Mercury Meltdown, but I made a guess based on the other four. My guess is totaling at somewhere close to 300. So I am going to undercut the ghost and guess 299.
Okay. I've got 250.
I have 275.
We're all right there.
We're all gonna be close, or we're all gonna be like. All right, Flight C, when you're ready.
Fire away.
Blob of mercury can be split into pieces. Okay.
Okay.
I see. Interesting.
Okay, Kirby Mass Attack, $29.99. I was a little high on that.
I think I was right on. I think I was guessing $30.
I guessed 40 on that one.
Wow. Kirby and the Amazing
It's
Mirror.
near 194.45.
Complete in box GBA games.
I know, but I wasn't even close. But I'm going to need the rest of these to be really low. Zelda, I was right on to the dot because I know I have that game and I've seen it recently. So
yeah,
yeah, $80. We should still say it.
Yeah.
Mercury Meltdown Revolution, $6.18.
I should have guessed 301.
Kingdom Hearts 2, $14. So
I was thinking this is a ghost list. This is a ghost list, and I guessed the wrong side of 300.
So yeah, the Rampage took this.
Yep. We apologize on humanity's.
Yeah, I don't know why I lowballed Kirby and Amazing. I was thinking like 120, 130 for it because I knew I was pretty much right on the rest of these.
I was thinking right around 100, but Kirby games are a little higher.
Yeah.
GBA.
I guessed 110 on Kirby.
Do we have a trivia? Or are we going to go to break?
I can grab it. It's right here.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't have a spot the fake list for this.
I feel like chat can help with this one.
Yeah.
With the trivia if they want. I am, and I was also kind of in the background. I've been thinking of an idea for a new game too. Sweet. All right, because I'm almost out of trivia cards. What is the full name of Agent 47's handler in the Hitman series?
Good. Yeah,
I got no idea. I have never played a Hitman game.
I haven't either.
He's the bald dude, right?
Well, that's Hitman. That's
all
not
I
the
know.
handler.
Well, yeah, that's all I know. He's a hitman. That's a guess, actually.
Diana Burnwood.
Yeah, we would have never guessed.
On the tip of my tongue, obviously.
Flightsy says he doesn't know Hitman. He also said every team member of Rampage contributed. I think
They
that's a
did.
first.
That is a first.
Oh, for
Each member of them
150th
got a
episode,
win.
each one got a win.
And none of us got one except for Sam.
And yeah.
I was robbed like twice though. I was close
Yeah.
on several of the, but they were low value rounds. So if you're within $20, it's not that great.
All right, what video game features Loot Lake?
Loot Lake.
I don't know. Is it Fortnite?
I'm thinking Sea of Thieves or something.
But
that's a lake.
It's Fortnite.
Sea of Thieves wouldn't have a lake.
Well, you know what I mean. I don't know. They have loot. There's not even loot.
Fortnite has a big map. There's like named things on it. I know that much. My point is a lake is surrounded by land. You wouldn't. It's Sea of Thieves.
Well, yeah, but Sea of Thieves isn't just a sea. It also has like ports and islands, and maybe one of the islands has a lake on it. I don't know.
But how would you get your boat to the lake? Why would it matter?
You wouldn't.
If you're a sea pirate.
You'd have to have a rowboat.
This is great.
I mean,
the fact that it's live is even better. I love it.
Think about it.
I love it.
For a second there. Okay, so one for two on the trivia.
Yep.
And sometimes it just asks me about a game I don't care about. So
yeah,
I'm surprised I got a Fortnite question.
You just figured it out.
I actually feel a little like disappointed in myself for getting it right. I don't know.
You lose points for getting that one right.
I know. I take great pride in not playing Fortnite. Okay, it's time for our break. So when we get back, we will see what we've all been playing and what you've been playing on the community couch.
Let's do it.
Well, Flightsy says there's a decently sizable delay for chat. He started sending the prices before I even said to.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I mean,
it worked out great.
That always happens with streaming. There's always going to be some delay. Part of it depends on upload speed. Part of it depends on whatever. Could be Twitch, could be YouTube, could be whatever.
Yep.
All right. Did you guys need to do anything before we head back?
Nope.
I'm good. I got my water here still. I might take a drink of water. Stay hydrated. Keep hydrated, everyone.
Yep. I mean, I got plenty of ice in this. It's how I stay cool.
That's your notes for tonight.
Yep.
Just grab the actual games.
I brought them.
I wrote them down, and I had more than I expected when I started writing them down. But some of them are just.
I have the game I played yesterday.
To talk about.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
I also have a pile of broken down Nintendo Switches on my desk.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I need to reach out to my sister and let her know. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, I'm still looking for another donor. It's funny.
Version 2?
Yes, a version 2. I had a broken version 1 that my brother gave to me. He picked it up somewhere. I have no idea. He's like, if you can get it working, you can have it. So I was like, I just been having it sitting around because I figured it's at least parts. So after I swapped that V1 board into his Switch, your nephew's, and it didn't work. And then I realized what happened. I pulled it back out. And then I tried to put it in that other switch to see if it would fire that switch up, and it didn't do anything for that switch either. So that switch must be toast somewhere else. Or the screen is bad. One or the other, something that doesn't like it. But I know that board worked because the one that I bought as a donor just had a cracked screen. Like it was smashed. The screen is, but it would still come on, and it would charge and everything. So that's why I bought it. So I thought I was going to fix at least one of the switches I had that was broken, and now I just have 3 of them broken apart on my desk. None of them work. So it's awesome. But I'm still looking. I'll find one.
I know you will.
But all right, you guys ready to come back?
Yep.
I'm ready.
All right.
And welcome back. We've got kind of a free-form, casual show tonight, as we've all just been playing a lot of games. School's out for the summer. I think that's helped some of us. I was on vacation last week, and that did include a lot of game time because I was riding in a car and not driving all the way to South Carolina and back. So that gave me time enough to beat Mina the Hollower, among other things.
Oh, nice.
And it's just one of those things that a confluence of playing so many games at once, and somehow I finished them all around the same time. It's funny how that happens. But
It does. They all seem to converge at some point.
So I know one game we've all been playing, and John, you've already finished, is Adventures of Elliot.
Yep.
Which just came out, what, a week ago?
Yeah, I put an embarrassing amount
ago.
of time into that game in a short period of time. I beat it in about 3 days. So if I did Flightsy's math, that's a little over 8 hours a day. I put a full-time job into this game.
I need to see your graph of how many shards of life you got per hour.
That's
Collected per playtime. I got them all, so I can say that I guess divide. I don't know how many you start with, 4 or 5. So either divide 15 or 16 by 3 days.
What's I know, like, did you 100% the game pretty much? Oh, I know there was one quest that you
I missed.
right?
Yes, there was one quest that the way this game does have, you can miss out on quests if you advance the story past when the turn in of the quest can happen. So what I did is I advanced the story past a point where turning the quest in makes sense, so it just made it unavailable. It was basically during one of the main quests, it was a side quest that you were supposed to work at the same time for somebody else and like bring an item that might help out with the main objective. And I just missed it completely, and I solved the problem without doing the side quest. So once I
might need you to tell me, like, even if you don't want to spoil anything, just
I was trying not to spoil on here, but
I don't care. You could tell me.
It's nothing major spoilery, but
I'm so worried about missing quests now since I know that was your experience.
They do highlight
I'm constantly
on the map.
checking. I'm constantly
well,
checking.
Yeah, the game's it is kind of strange that they would be missable at all. I guess just because they were committed to like making sure they made sense in the story. But
that was the only reason why. Yeah,
because the game seems very much designed to help you track everything.
Yes,
even down to like which NPCs you've talked to.
That's the biggest point that I tried to push in my review was just how, like, I'm going to look back on this game, later and be like, man, the quality of life in this game is amazing. And I really hope that it gets applied to other Square games or even just other RPGs in general. But I mean, like you mentioned, the check mark on speech bubbles if somebody doesn't have anything new to say to you, or the compass that you get that kind of provides not necessarily a checklist, but it kind of gives you the locations of things you're looking for based on the needles that you have collected so far.
I haven't collected any. Well, no, I haven't collected any needles so far because I just before we started recording, I just got the cat quest. And that's how you earn your first needle, I believe.
Well, yeah.
The thing is, I I went back to all the cats. It's number one. It was weird to me that the game waits so long to give you that quest.
Yes.
Because
and
I was
I'm
like, what do I
where
do with the cats? And then you have to go back and get them later.
I know, and I'm like, where are they all? I'm gonna have to do a checklist.
Fortunately, you get the needle when you get 5, but if you do that right away, you don't have the compass yet, so it doesn't do anything. Because that's what I did, and I'm like, wait, how do I use this? Well, you don't have the magic compass yet.
They pace it out pretty good.
It's shortly after.
Yeah, as I say, you're like an overachiever because I don't think I actually went back. I didn't care to go back and collect them until shortly after, and I had already had the compass. Like it's the next story beat, I believe, throws that into there.
Yeah, I almost started writing down like in a notebook every time I saw a cat.
You have
and I was like, well,
they give you markers you can use on the map even.
I had no idea. I am about 8-ish hours into this game, and I'm not very far because I'm constantly intentionally getting lost and just seeing how far I could push things, like where I can get to. And I had no idea that you could put markers in the map.
I'm pretty sure that you could put markers on the map. If you open up the map and you look at the bottom, I'm pretty sure one of the buttons says it can mark the map.
That's crazy.
Now
we don't need to do it because I can collect the cats now.
Yeah, and shortly you'll get something that tells you where they're all at, and then you'll rack your brain trying to figure out where the last 3 are. I'll just tell you that. I won't tell you why or whatever, but it's a deal.
Are they post game?
They are post game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you can't actually complete.
You can't complete it. You can't get the bad ending of the game and complete the cat quest completely.
Can't get the good ending, you mean? Or no, wait.
No.
Okay, I'm
sorry. If you get the bad ending, you don't get it. You don't get the post game. The post game is only brought on if you are on track for the good ending.
Okay.
So I'll put it that way.
Okay.
But to answer your first question, I did 100% minus one quest that I can't go back. So I can't actually get 100%. I guess I'll be at 99%. And then there is a arena on the map where you have to fight either rooms full of enemies or a boss in combinations of waves. And then the very last version of that challenge is just a boss rush of 10 bosses that you have to fight. And I tried it a couple times. I made it like halfway through, even with 8 bottles of 10 healing. It's something where there was a couple bosses that I always kind of struggled with, and I didn't learn the pattern. I just kind of cheesed them the best I could. So it's still, I want to go back and get it. It's like a shield, I think, that you get. It's the last version of the shield because every weapon has or every item has 3 grades. But I never could quite get through that boss arena, and I was like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and fit because I knew I could go back and do it afterwards. So,
everybody compares this game to Zelda, and I can understand why completely. But having just completed Secret of Mana recently, I feel like this game has more in common with those games.
It just doesn't have the magic. It doesn't have the spells, which is probably the worst part of Mana.
Well, I mean, sort of. If you say the fairy is your spells.
Yeah, but you're not going to a menu and you're not having to
Yeah, well, I mean, you do. You pull up a wheel to pick which power she's gonna have, and your weapons are all on a wheel. That's why to me, I think it's, and even the terrain, moving up and down in the terrain, I feel like, until more modern Zelda.
To me, it feels a bit more hack and slashy.
Which is why I think that it works well with Secret of Mana, like the Mana games, right?
It does until you get towards. I mean, eventually you get to enemies that take some hits. Like you get a little bit later in the game, even with the highest powered weapons, there are some just like regular enemies that will take you.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Hits. Like you usually don't get a lot of that in Zelda.
Yeah, this is true.
And that's what I'm saying, and that's what I very much
Not 2D Zelda anyway.
experienced. Right, that's very much what I experienced in Secret of Mana. Some of those later enemies were just like sponges, and you just
This it kind of feels like Breath of the Wild in a way, like 2D wise, because it has a weapon wheel and you can select your magic that's kind of like runes, I guess,
And there's
because
shrines.
there's shrines. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's more traverse. The phase magic is more traversal based. Like the one that I used all the time was, which I don't know.
I don't think it's as I don't think
It's not that
you see
spoilery,
them in
but
a lot of the previews.
yeah. So you get 5 of them. The one that I use the most is just the one that lets you run really fast, the
Yeah.
sprint.
Which is the second
Yeah.
one you get.
You get an upgraded version of it that makes it last a lot longer. And I used it to like become the Flash, and I would just run around the map. Like that's how I traverse the map so quickly. A lot of times, you once you turn that on, if you get enough straight shots, you're probably going to go faster than the game can load up if you're using the points.
That's crazy.
But like I said, most of them are basically traversal type things, like teleporting and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the rest of them are, other than I know teleportation because that was in the original demo.
There's one that's worthless that I used like twice, and
There's
it's
the
to do
speed one.
puzzles.
Now the fire one, I have found the fire one actually helped in a couple of bosses, at least early game bosses.
Yes.
Like there's the boss where it's like he's in like a wooden tank and you can set him on fire. He's like
Yes.
inside a bubble, and if you put her in, she'll light
So
the whole thing on fire.
I did that too. That makes that boss battle take a lot longer. Once you learn how to reflect things back, that boss fight goes a lot faster if you actually just reflect his projectiles back
Wait,
at him.
how do you reflect?
Well, you eventually you're going to get a shield that has the
Yeah, I
just
did
got
that.
the
I
shield.
did that before getting that.
Yeah, I did that.
But you
boss
can also
before I
break
got
the
that.
barrier. You
Yeah.
also break the barrier using bombs.
Yes.
yeah,
yes.
there's
So that's
several
also
ways.
the-
Well, that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. I did not beat the boss by doing that, but I'd light him on fire and then I'd throw bombs.
But that's the real value of the fire, is it detonates the bombs.
It detonates the
instantly.
bombs. Yes. So,
But if you reflect his missiles back at him, it only takes like 1 or 2 missiles and his shield's gone. They're a lot more. They're even more powerful.
that
than
makes
bombs.
sense too. Yeah, I mean he's throwing bombs, so you can just pick them right back up too and throw them
Well,
at him. And,
yeah, I mean he lines that whole stage with missiles at one point.
yeah. Oh, for sure.
You just reflect them back. Like
Yeah,
I said, this
the
game
reflect timing is very generous too.
it is. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you
I
could
just
actually
got
get-
I just got the shield, so like I just got it and got back to the castle, and
You could even get an accessory that increases it by 100%. The time to reflect.
I think the interesting thing that we'll see in this game as it goes along is to see people's like combinations of their magicite.
Yes.
Like because you can really, and I've already started seeing some of this stuff online. If you know what you're doing, like you can really combo, like depending on what you have your setup to be, and like because you can have magicite that's like, all right, if you use this, and you charge this up, then the next weapon you choose is going to like increase its power by
Yep.
like
Yeah,
20,
there's
and it's
certain
like-
weapons that combo well into each other, especially because they have like attributes that go off of each other. Like the boomerang and the hammer both have like stun and lightning effects.
Yeah.
That they can get. Like the bow and the spear both have like fire effects that work well together.
I actually used a combination of the boomerang and the spear, because eventually you get a magicite that allows your spear to attack in 3 directions.
I just picked that up, so I
So
was just starting
it
to play around with
becomes it kind of becomes more like the sword.
right.
But then you can also put a magicite on your spear that makes you lunge forward every time you attack. So then you can kind of just like move across the map, just mowing enemies down while you're attacking. And then the charge up to the boomerang, there's a magicite that makes it to where it hovers around you. So you can kind of create a shield, and you can just get all these things working in your favor. You just start mowing down all the enemies in the little overworld area pretty quick.
This is
Yeah,
going to turn
I
into
always
an
like it when
on-topic
I
modern.
always like it when games give you a lot of abilities to tinker with.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
there's
breaks
so
up because
many.
I actually do think like the combat in this game could feel otherwise kind of monotonous, like fighting a lot of the same groups of enemies over and over
Yeah.
as you move through the map. Um, that does take a lot of that edge off, and the incentive to just get a big chain, get
Yeah.
a lot of money, upgrade your
I
box.
I also feel for like the amount of, because I mean, essentially, again, this is kind of like Breath of the Wild. You're playing the same map, layered 4 times or whatever for each age, and a lot of the enemies do kind of overlap between there, but they do give you a pretty good variety of area
Yeah.
that has different enemies. So
Yeah.
like, I definitely
I
feel like
was kind of
comparing it to
hoping the
Zelda.
eras would feel more different from one another.
I think that's the problem with not having a like futuristic era. They have like the
Yeah.
Age of Magic that's supposed to feel more
Well,
enlightened or more
and just the
futuristic.
one town, right? Like
Yes, just one town is kind of an
if
odd
there were
choice.
like different structures that appeared in one era and not in another, like it's a ruin in the other, and then it's just completely gone in the next.
Yeah.
That would really drive home. Like as it is, each era feels about the
Now
same.
they do some of that. Like it's not as pronounced right away. Like you have to go into the dungeons, but as
Yeah,
you'll go into a dungeon in one era and it's like one floor, and you'll be like, "Yeah, I thought there was more to this," and then you realize that you can only go so far in this area. You have to actually go to a different area to complete it because
yeah.
each dungeon has a completion point, but you can only complete some of them in certain areas or certain
I
eras.
I would say that so far, the dungeons are actually, I think, one of the strong points of the game, because in the fact that they don't feel overly long, and um like they don't overstay their welcome.
And they're not over puzzled. Like the
They're
puzzles
not
are
over
there,
puzzled. Yeah.
but it's not going to take you
I guess that's
45
what I
minutes to
mean.
figure a
Yeah.
puzzle out.
Right. Like
You're not going to get
it's
stuck.
if you understand the way Zelda puzzles work, you're going to be just fine. At least my experience so far. I'm not near as far, so
Oh, and I like that the layers of the map work really well together. So like you can look at it works just like Link to the Past. You can
yeah.
look at a staircase and try to find out on the map where it's going to be at on the next
Yep.
level up or whatever.
Well, I needed Tim's help for that the other day when
Yeah.
I was playing, and he's like, "Let me help you figure that out." Um, uh, oh yeah. Speaking of Tim, and he showed up. Also,
Speak of a Tim.
Flightsy said he has no idea what the game is. He just learned there's time travel. Yes, there is time travel. It is. It is a great game, but yeah, I feel like we're turning this into a on topic modern here.
Yeah. We can
We
move
should
on to
probably
the
move
next
on.
game.
There was some warning. I will segue that since I did mention prior, I finished Mina the Hollower, which really hooked me. It is interesting that these two games came out close to each other because I think they invite comparison. And there's been some discussion on which one of them is better. I think they both do different things well. Um, I, there's some guys over on the Nintendo Dads Discord were saying that Elliot really didn't hook them the way Mina did. John, it seems like Elliot hooked you in a way that Mina did not. I'm kind of in the middle. I think Mina the Hollower had my attention more thoroughly than Adventures of Elliot did, but I am really enjoying it. Elliot feels like a very frustration-free experience. Um, it's definitely not anywhere near as difficult a game, and I've been playing on hard mode.
Yeah, no, it's the difficulty's not near as much as Mina, but I guess the way that I was kind of looking at both games, because I've played a little bit of Mina as well, is uh just right off the jump, starting out with Elliot, I was having way more fun. The game just felt more fun to me. I didn't have to work as hard to find the fun, so it was kind of like eating a snack food. Versus, I'm sure, by the time I go back to Mina, and it's gonna, when I start to have things click a little bit more, Mina is probably going to feel more like a fine dinner. Uh, it's still going to be good, but it's it took longer to get there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think really Mina demands your attention in a way Elliot kind of doesn't. And that's kind of why I made the comparison of it being kind of hack and slash, especially
Yeah.
for the early parts of the game, is I kind of found like my mind almost not paying full attention to the game at times. And that to me is not a point in its favor. I usually, and I'm this way about pretty much any media. Like if it's not actually taking up my full attention, to me, I consider that to be a sign that it's just not that interesting. Now, I'm not going to be down on Elliot for the full, but I mean, the thing is, the combat is very basic, and it kind of just was, here's another one of those chicken dudes. Let's just run up and hit him until he dies. Like, it gets a little bit more challenging in spots, but for the most part, like, you don't have to think too hard about how to approach particular enemies in particular spots. Whereas I think in Mina the Hollower, even when you fight the same enemy, if you're fighting in a different location, you have to approach it differently because of the environment around you and where the pits that you're going to fall into are and what other enemies are present and what other factors are in play. Whereas in Elliot, once you've kind of found a loadout that works, you kind of just keep approaching every enemy the same way.
Yeah. I can't speak to the bosses in Mina, but like I feel like the bosses are the highlight of Elliot as far as combat goes. They actually force you to like think in some cases, or might have to fight them differently than what you would the standard enemy.
Yeah, some of them.
So
I mean, some of them are kind of just souped up standard enemies, I think, but those are the ones that get reused as well.
But they also have different levels of the boss. So if you notice, whenever you go to fight a boss, they'll have a star level as well.
Yeah.
And by the time you get to like some of the like star level 7 bosses on hard mode, it could get a little bit more difficult. They hit harder.
Yep. Anyway, Mina the Hollower, I could talk about a lot. There are a lot of like questionable decisions. I think my take on it is they probably should have just left the stat progression out. Like, there are enough ways to upgrade with your bones just by buying trinkets, upgrading the weapons, upgrading your cloak, all of that. And I think that would have smoothed out because, like, I think that's why so many people's experience between it being just hard and being, like, incredibly unfair feeling is if you start the game and you lose a lot of your early bones, it can, like, it's a snowball because a lot of them don't respawn in different positions.
Yeah.
If you don't make it to the level up before you die, and if you actually don't make it back to the spot you died to get it back,
you just lost all
that
of it.
Dark Souls kind of mechanic. And so it really punishes you for like not learning fast more than anything. And my experience was the game got very easy in the middle. You can do the towers in any order, and I feel like the game doesn't make the third one, like, the game was not throwing anything at me that would have been any harder if I did them in a different order. But of course, I got level ups, I got upgrades, and so some of those middle bosses felt really easy to me once I kind of had a good loadout. Now the game does ratchet up a lot at the end, but I don't find too much fault in that because I do like it when a game's like, okay, use everything you have and it's still going to be challenging.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit of whiplash from like, oh, this is actually easy now to, oh no, we're doing. And in particular, there was one like stretch of the final stage that had invisible destructible barriers on opposite sides of pits. So you would just try to jump over a pit and just fall.
Yeah, I think this is
like,
where Adam was having problems earlier.
Well, that was an earlier point. This one is in the final stage.
Oh,
And on
okay.
top of that, it had the lightning rods and some really annoying enemies at the same time. So if you get to a certain point, you'll know what I'm talking about with the lightning rods as well. Um,
So
it was a layer of very frustrating things on top of each other.
Fletsy's asking, are there still plans for an on topic on Mina? And I would have to say that I would have to see how many people have
I would
played
do
it.
it. I would do it. I think it's worth discussing in depth.
Yeah,
So I'll try not to here.
Yeah, if I can make my way through it a little bit further, at least, so that I have a better idea of how to talk to it, and then maybe if I can find someone other than Sam that's finished the game. I know Adam's probably getting pretty close. And there's
I think
definitely
it's a game worth talking about because at the end of the day, I really liked it. It had me very hooked, but I do have a lot of criticism of it. It's a lot of things that I do think are flaws that I was just able to ignore. But those are a lot of the games I like. I like a lot of very flawed games because I think sometimes those are just more interesting than games that kind of are for everybody.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the vanilla. That's the bland flavor that everybody can appreciate. Whereas sometimes you want something a little spicy, and I have a lot of opinions on difficulty and how that can make games more interesting as well. Um, but yeah, does somebody else want to mention before I've been talking a long time? There's a couple other games I finished recently though.
Shannon, you can go. You haven't.
Yeah, I mean, I have a list here. Some of them are shared experiences, though, so we'll have stuff to talk about. And we don't have to go into depth on all of these, but um, the first one is Dokapon Kingdom. So
Yep.
we have been playing a 4-player
Oh,
with John, Sam, myself,
it makes me sad.
and Tim from Nintendo Dads. We have put in how many hours, guys?
I think about 30
I
on
think
that
we were
game.
For
maybe
a single game, and we're
maybe closer to 35.
yeah, and we figured we were probably a good
We were in the 6th chapter, right?
out of 8.
Out of 8.
And so
We were
getting,
starting 7 actually. We got to the start of
okay,
7.
that's right. And so we started seeing that, like, and we're having a great time, but we could start to see the light at the end of the tunnel until we went to play this last time, and John's save was gone. And we can't figure out a way to get it back.
Yeah, I think my son might have wiped the save trying to play.
Well, the really strange thing is that all 4 players apparently have to have the save in order to just rejoin the game.
Yeah, you'd think that they would have a system set up that it would save all 4 saves on everybody's.
The only
console.
the only other thing I could think of as a possible solution, we'll have to see, is if we could force start a game where John was taken over by the computer, and then see if we could save that and then force him back into that spot. But I don't know if the game will let us do it.
Yeah,
but that's the only thing I could think of trying.
It's worth trying.
Yep.
We'll have time Friday. We could try it.
Yeah. So, but that so that was that. We were hoping to start finally approaching the end of that game, but because we couldn't do that, we started playing Hammer Watch 2, which is kind of a Gauntlet-ish.
It's a looter.
Dungeon feels very crawler. Diablo to me.
Yeah, it's kind of like Diablo / just the way the characters kind of move and attack, though. I feel like feels kind of Gauntlet. It's very pixelated.
It's kind of hard to see.
You get different quests. Yeah, it's very hard to kind of always see what's happening. We fight a lot of wolves. There are a lot of wolves in this game so far, and they will straight up destroy you.
And rats.
and rats. Yeah, wolf rats. Um, it's an interesting. We kind of learned about it from Adam,
Uh,
wasn't it?
uh,
Not one of the Adams.
not Caparillo, the Adam from Film Logic.
Yes. This is the game I think he plays with some of his buddies. It was on sale, like a significant sale. I think it
$5.
still is $5, and it's normally like $30 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's
After Adam had told me about it, I wish listed the game because it's normally $25.
or $25.
And I was like, well, I'm not going to pay $25. I looked at the price history on Deku deals, and it's like this game pretty consistently goes down to $5. And then as soon as it hit $5, I was like, all right, everybody, go buy. We'll pay $20 for 4 copies before we'll buy
Right.
one for 25.
Yes, so that's something we'd like to continue. I think.
Yeah, we had a lot of
here.
fun.
It was definitely fun, and I know we also have Cold Step coming out.
Approaching.
I think it was. Did we just get a date announcement for that? Like
I think
in
they
August?
just delayed the
Oh,
physical for North America, Europe.
I think I'm gonna just buy this one digitally now. I think I've waited long enough with the delay of the physical and not buying the one that has both games.
Because I think the physical is not out till September.
yeah.
So I might end
So
up buying this
I
digitally.
pre-ordered the Japanese collector's edition from Play Asia because that one comes with both games. It comes with Cold Step Beginnings and Cold Step First, which it's such a weird thing. I can't even keep straight which game is which. So I think it's first
is the remake.
It's a remake of the first Cold Step, which actually
Correct.
wasn't released outside Japan.
No, that's a
the
PS2 game, right?
Well, we did get the PS2 game.
Or was it PS1?
It's like a Final Fantasy 3 sort of situation.
Okay.
So it's just called Cold Sept, but that's actually so the original game was on the Sega Saturn, and then there was a sequel to it. I think it was just called Cold Sept Expansion, and that was also on the Saturn, but it had a PS2 port. And the PS2 port is what was released everywhere as just Cold Sept.
Gotcha.
So the original game actually is new to everyone who's not Japanese. And then Cold Sept Beginnings is the new game, which I guess is a prequel to the entire series.
They're starting it over. So.
I'm excited. I'm still not really sold on the art style, but I'll get over it. I like the way the cards look. I don't like the way the little sprites look.
They're kind of chibi.
Yeah,
they look cheap. They look cheap, if I can be honest.
So. They look mobile game like.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
yeah,
you know, we'll see that, but the official release date for that is July 16th.
Yeah, so we're coming up on that one too.
Yep. What else? I finally finished Trails in the Sky first chapter on the Switch 2, and there is a little mini review of that on our Substack. I had a lot of fun playing this game, and I definitely recommend it, but only if you are into the anime-ish JRPGs. It's the closest thing I can compare it to is like the Tales games.
It is very Tales.
It has a lot of that Tales games. What's really cool about these games is that all of the Legend of Hero games have a shared universe. So the characters, and this just happens to be the first game I played. It is the first game in the entire series too. And so characters that are in this game might show up on games 4 or 5 games later.
And this is a remake,
characters,
right?
Or yes, it's a complete remake. It's of a PSP game.
That's what I was going to say. PSP is when this
PSP
came out.
game.
It
was actually
turn-based though, right?
That's the best part of these games, or at least I don't know that they're all this way. But that's actually what makes this game, I think, sets it apart and puts it above a notch above some of the other ones, is that it's like you see the monsters like running around and they'll come and attack you, but or they'll be doing their natural thing like out in the fields or whatever, and then they'll just like attacking you if you get close, and you can actually fight them in real time in using your weapon. Like you're basically start just like attacking them. You can't use any of your arts or magic or anything, but you could just start attacking them, which is great if they're weak, right? But then as the enemies get stronger, you might want to do that to try to like you might attack them with your weapon to try to basically uh, immobilize them for a moment. Then you can hit a button and you go into a
Turn-based.
turn-based battle. Yes, thank you. Um, and that's where you can use all your arts and your magic. But it also, like, if you're using your arts and your magic, you can move around the space that you're in, like in a bubble around, and you want to line up. You want to basically line up. So depending on your spell or art, it might attack a single enemy, which doesn't matter where they might go, or it might be okay. It's a rectangle, and you have or a cone of of influence, and you adjust to try to get as many enemies as you can. But your art or magic might not go off right away. So if it doesn't, the enemies can move, and if they move, they can move right out of where you were attacking.
It's a turn-based, but it also has like an arena feel to it.
Yeah. Yes. So it's definitely one of the better battle systems. My understanding is the original only had the turn-based. It did not have the other part, the live-edge part. And that was added in because more of the modern games have this both style. But I will tell you straight up, you cannot beat the game uh, just by attacking with just action. You'll never get anywhere because the enemies take a lot less damage when you're doing that. Like I said, you're mostly just trying to immobilize them to get a bonus when you go into turn-based. But yeah, excellent battle system in this game. So the second chapter comes out. The remake of the second chapter comes out in this fall, I believe September. So I'll be definitely jumping into that. The other thing, I've slowly been kind of playing Link Between Worlds ever since we did on topic retro on that. And that's just kind of, I just have my 3DS sitting by my bed, and I just grab that, do a little bit. I am I would say I'm probably about halfway through the game, just picking up
good.
Here and there. And then the other two games real quick were just because I got in my SNES operator recently, and I know we have a review of that also up on our Substack. I was playing around with it and popped in Link to the Past, which still has my original save. So I have two saves on there. I always have whatever one I was last doing, but I always kept my first original 100% run. And so I was able to back that up because the battery's still working strong on that. But this, because I can back it up, I'll have it now on my computer. And if the battery does die, I can get it replaced. And then the operator allows you to put it back onto your game, on your original copy of your game. And I also popped in Final Fantasy 3, and that also had my original 100% save on there, along with whatever the last one I had been working on there was as well.
Nice.
I am loving the SNES operator. I cannot wait to see what they come out with next, which it looks like Tim's been saying, yeah, he's been playing SimCity. Yes. I know that's like Tim's one of his favorite games for the Super Nintendo. It looks like from what I saw, and I posted a article on Discord. They just did an interview recently and said that they are working on an N64 version. That'll be the next one they release, and then they are also working on a DS one, which is the one we're all really
Yeah.
want.
Everybody needs a DS one.
Everyone needs a DS one.
Those games are bad. We need to back up those saves.
Unfortunately, we don't. There is no NES one. Yeah, which is they apparently have a working prototype, but they said a couple years ago. I found something on um, Reddit where one of the representatives from the company said they skipped that one because most batteries in the NES era are already too late. So they're trying to get ones that are
That
still
makes sense.
active. Um, but like I think it was Adam and I'm trying to remember maybe Double D. A couple people from Discord were saying they still have some of their NES batteries that are still working, and they're really worried about those because
Yeah.
they don't have a solution.
Yeah, I mean, they were only
so-
supposed to last like 15 years, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, we always approximate things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
we need that DS one. I mean, there's already some DS games that have lost their ability to save.
I'd love to just have a good
Or
way to
read.
stream DS games too. I think that would be
That would be a
nice.
really nice way to stream.
That
too.
would be, yeah.
So,
Yeah, without having to emulate them in
Yep.
places.
Well, I mean, you sort of are emulating them, but
Well, yeah. Without, I mean, be able to.
But you're
put
doing it
own
from your own copy of the
Yeah.
game, at least, right? And so, they said as long as people are buying them, they will still continue to make new versions.
I don't think they got any troubles with that. The Super Nintendo one sold out real quick.
Yeah, they are a small company, and so it does take a little bit of time. I'm really hoping it doesn't take as long for the next one as the Super Nintendo one. Took them way longer than they had
Yeah.
initially thought. I don't know if that was because
It's really funny because whenever we did the interview with one of their marketing reps, and that was back in like 2021, 22, and they were telling us about the Super Nintendo one back then.
Yeah,
and we just now
Yeah.
got it in our hands.
yeah.
Yep.
I think that I wonder if the like some of the Mode 7 stuff. I mean,
It has to be.
this
all
is
the
supposed to
different
be pretty much
chips.
compatible with everything. And because there's so many chips, I wonder if that and the fact that they're a small team, but you can like I haven't tried it out yet, but I have a copy of Yoshi's Safari I'm planning on putting in, and you can emulate the Super Scope with your mouse. They said so. I'll definitely be trying that. That's
now,
kind
have
of
you tried it
exciting.
with a Super Game Boy? And can you circumvent the need for a GB operator
No.
by just?
It doesn't
You
work.
can't. It doesn't
It
work,
doesn't
and they
work.
said it wouldn't. So yeah, nice try. Although if you do put a Game Boy one into any Game Boy cartridge you put in to the Game Boy operator, you can choose to have it play as a Super Game Boy
Right.
Yes.
version.
Yeah, they give you the
Um,
option there at least.
But the program, I updated the program and everything that you use, and everything is switches. I had both of them plugged in, and it's just a little drop down, and you can switch back and forth between
Yep.
the two really easily.
Now I couldn't
so-
get the app to work on my phone that's supposed to validate.
I haven't tried
games.
that. Yeah.
Now, I did not pick one of these up because I can. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit less user friendly, but I can still back up my own ROMs and saves from the analog Super NT.
Yeah.
And so that's something I've done. But I would recommend to those who have picked it up, if it's something that interests you and you don't mind going through the steps. There are some really cool Super Famicom games that have pretty good quality fan translations.
Yeah.
I think we need to get Shannon a copy of Marvelous and Other Treasure Island, so
Absolutely.
he can patch that and play it because
That
it's
is
really fun.
that is one. I'm looking at picking up the Dragon Quest Super Famicom games. Um, yeah, now I wanna do all these things because this has got me really excited. And it's easy enough to hook up my Super Nintendo uh, controller, the ones from the NSO. Just hook it right up to my computer, and
Yep.
I'm playing them with a Super Nintendo controller from Nintendo. It works great. Um, yeah, Tim is all over the DS one. Flightsy
Yep.
wants to know, how does the DS one work? Can you replace the batteries on those carts? No, but a lot of those carts are actually not lasting very long.
No, they're not.
They're corrupting.
Yep.
I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know that you could actually do anything. So
It would
the
just be
safest.
basically to save so you could continue to play them
Correct. Yeah, you
through
can't.
emulate.
It's not like the other ones where you can pull your saves, replace the battery, and put them back on. I think you would have to buy a whole nother cart and then put your save on it
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
their backup battery
And
is
at that
not
point, the main hope is to just save all my ROMs to a hard drive.
correct.
yeah,
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 for DS because I mean those carts just some of them won't even play.
yeah. Even keeping them in really good shape, they're still starting to go. So I'm really hoping they don't wait forever on getting us a DS one. Hopefully, the fact that they're talking about doing a DS one is a sign that they're recognizing that is a growing need for the community. So, uh,
Tip says the app is a chef's kiss.
yes. Is there a way to replace those carts? Because notably, the operator is still emulation. I'd like to play on a DS system, if possible. The only way you'd be able to do that, Flight C, is you could download the ROM, and technically you could get a flash cart and flash your ROM onto the flash cart and put it into your DS. That's the only way I could think of, unless you guys have a different idea.
uh, I don't know because this is all hypothetical because there isn't a DS
Right,
operator.
right.
Uh, but I would think that because you could put a save back on a game or a Game Boy game with the operator, right? And the Super Nintendo.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And a Game Boy, yeah, both,
So
yeah.
you should be able to, if the hardware works the same as what's currently out, you should be able to pull your save off of a DS cart if it's and then if it dies at any point in time, you would just need to buy another
Or by,
version of that game and then replace the save on it with your
but
save.
hopefully that copy also isn't degrading. Is
They're
the
all degrading at some point, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
You might have to roll the
And the
dice.
replacements will get rarer as time goes on.
yeah.
This is true.
So
But
that's
flash
why I was
carts are
thinking you
out
could
there.
almost do like a flash card, yeah,
You can get an
and
R4 card
do that.
and
Yep.
run it. And you might have to mod your DS or whatever some of them you don't have to. Some of them are
I
play
don't
right
know if
off
the
of
DS
the
one is not. I don't have one. I know GBA you can do that
yeah.
without modding um, anything, but yeah,
Those R4 cards are like a dime a dozen. You can get them for $5. You put a micro SD card in them. Uh, and like I said, I think that the DS one might be able to run just off the standard uh, revision, but the 3DS gets a little tricky because it was being constantly updated by Nintendo through
yeah,
the
it
internet.
still
Yeah.
gets updates every now and then.
So I don't think I think you have to mod your 3DS to play the R4
Yeah.
cards on those.
All right. So anyway, that's my list. I included a little bit of hardware in there, just because it's a blast, and I'm planning on going through and pulling saves off of all of my Super Nintendo games and backing those up. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's got me re excited for all of my Super Nintendo collection again.
Awesome.
So I only have one other game that I played this week other than Adventure of Elliot, and that is Shadow of Colossus, which I have here. I did play the remake that was brought to us by Blue Point, who has been disbanded and no longer with us, I don't believe, anymore. Uh, but this is a game that I've always had the intention to go to. I think I played a little bit of it on PS2 at a friend's house, but I never really made it back to it. And I've owned the remake like since it launched almost. It was really cheap right out of the get go, but just been sitting sealed on the shelf all these years. Like 2018, I think, is when that dude came out. Uh, so I finally cracked it open and played it, and it does live up to the hype. It is a good game. I can only imagine what the climbing mechanics felt like on the PS2 version since I haven't played it so long. I'll have to fire it up and make a comparison because even the remake, like sometimes Wander is a little bit hard to control. Uh, the climbing doesn't always work exactly the way you want, and then also whenever you're kind of taking the Colossus down, they're doing a lot of things to try to keep you from hanging on to him anyway. So uh, I found it really hard on the last boss to kind of work my way into position because uh, the way that all the Colossuses work is they kind of escalate in the manner that you have to take them down as you go. There's 16 of them, and it starts off at the very beginning. Like the first one is just kind of teaching you how to get up on them. You know, it's pretty basic. You kind of wait for it to attack, and then whenever it attacks, its weapon gets stuck in the ground, and then you kind of climb the weapon to go up to it, and then you can climb on it and take it down. And then they get all, you know, some of them swim, some of them fly, and like you're having to do all these things and figure out every one of them is a puzzle in itself just to even figure out how to get onto them, kind of like their own dungeon but on the outside. uh but that last boss, that last Colossus, just trying to get transitioned, you start and you have to get to it. You know, it's shooting fireballs and everything that are one shotting you almost, and finally get to it, and then you have to scale it. You have to climb from the bottom, but then they have points on them that glow whenever you have the sword equipped that you have to attack. And for this particular one, you have to do it all in order through different parts of it. I think there's like 4 or 5 different areas that you scale the body, like from the back all the way up to like the arm and then the shoulder and then on top of the head. And you have to do them in the order that they light up in order to actually do the damage to the Colossus. And I was having the hardest time getting from the back to the hand to the shoulder to back to the other side and like up to its head. It took me like 2 hours to do that last one, and I think I did all the rest of them in like 4 hours. To put into perspective how many times I had to try. Uh, but the game is fun, and I did enjoy it. It does feel weird, and I think it's an intentional thing, but it feels isolated. Uh, the map is very large. Like it's a huge, like this game is would be a PS2 marvel. Like when you go back and think about how large of scale the map is, it's like it's massive. I mean, it takes you, it could take you up to like 10 minutes to ride your horse to where one of these guys are at. Is how big the map is. And but there's nothing in it. The only thing that's living in this map is you and the Colossus. You and 16 other beings are the only thing in this giant map, and your horse. So you're constantly riding around, and it's really quiet. You're listening to the nature and like kind of the humdrum of the low music that's kind of playing in the background. None of it is like really uh, theatrical until you get to a Colossus. So it's just kind of eerie. Like there's no other living creature. There's some lizards, I guess, some like little bitty lizards that are crawling around the grounds in the mountain areas, but you don't really see anything else. There's no other enemies. So that was kind of weird. And then when you finish the game, you kind of the story's kind of basic, but then once you finish it, you kind of realize that you're not even really the good guy. Like you're pretty much the bad guy of this game.
Huh.
You kind of went behind everybody's back and like stole the sword that you have because you're trying to save a loved one, but you end up kind of releasing a demonic being, I guess, in order to try to bring a loved one back, and you do it against the will of humanity. So yeah, I guess that really makes you the bad guy at some point. You kind of get consumed by it as you finish the game. To spoil a 25-year-old game or whatever.
Yep.
Uh, but I would definitely say that the story is not the strongest point of the game. Fighting the Colossus is definitely the fun part. I mentioned the Discord. I think my favorite one is this weird one that was I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a sandworm dragonfly creature that comes out of the sand, but then it can fly at some point because it has like these bags on it that are full of gas that kind of make it float. And it has like 4 paddles on it that remind me of a dragonfly, but they kind of hang down. They're almost like dorsal fins, uh, and you have to like, kind of like take the you have to shoot the bags on the bottom of it with your bow and arrow in order to get it to where it kind of deflates and like comes back down to the ground, and then it kind of hovers real low, and you have to ride your horse up next to it, like alongside of it, and kind of jump from the back of your horse onto this thing. So it's kind of like a chase, like cat and mouse chase for quite a bit of it. It was a really fun battle. By the time you get up onto it, the bags start to reinflate. Next thing you know, the battle's being taken up into the sky again, and then you're having to figure out the weak spots on it that you're attacking. It's almost kind of like Monster Hunter before Monster Hunter, I guess. And the monsters are gigantic and you're climbing all over them, but it's definitely has the kind of feel where these battles are going to take, potentially take 20 minutes or so to figure out how to beat them. And they're all a puzzle. So anyway, I enjoyed my time with it. It was a good 8-hour, 9-hour game.
There's a reason time. It's still talked about so much.
For sure.
And you could see the ties to Breath of the Wild, like that this was a major inspiration with how the climbing works, and like everything.
Well, even the Guardians are kind of a different take on Colossus.
They are, Colossuses. Yeah. You could definitely see the inspiration there, and I mean, there's definitely times where when you're riding the horse and you're just plowing through the map, and you're like, this really feels like Breath of the Wild, but as if there isn't any moblins or anything, bokoblins or whatever that are hanging out around there. It's just you and the horse, which is very similar to Link and Epona. He even sounds a lot like Link. It's like when you're climbing and stuff, he's making the noises, and he's silent, like he never talks. So I mean, there's a lot of comparisons there.
I had a buddy who was really into this on PS2 and wanted me to play it so bad. And I didn't even have a PS2 at the time, but he lent me his PS2 and this game and a few other games. But I got into Final Fantasy X, which he had lent me, and that I ended up playing that instead. I did try it, but it didn't click with me. But I also don't even remember. I don't think I really gave it a fair shot. So maybe it's something I should go back and look at.
It's a different kind of game. It opens with like a 15-minute cinematic of like you getting to the sacred place, like I can't remember what they call it now, but it's basically like a prohibited place. Like you're not supposed to be there because that demon is there. And I guess they've split the demon into 16 pieces to weaken it, and it's all being protected by the Colossus. So essentially, I mean, you could even tell, I never really thought about it till afterwards, but like a lot of them aren't even really willing to fight you until you antagonize them. Like they'll just kind of walk around and they're okay with you being there, but then you jump on their back and just start stabbing them. it's like yeah, you got to see, like you're not really that good of you're not a hero,
Yeah, just kind of picking a fight.
Well,
we have been going a while. I want to hit a couple of these other ones, but we've got Community Couch too. So I did recently finish my stream all the way through of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. So I do have some thoughts on that. I enjoyed the game overall. I'm glad I finally got a chance to play it. I'd mentioned this a few times, but I started Fire Emblem with Radiant Dawn, which is the direct sequel. It was kind of weird playing this, and it kind of changed my opinion of Radiant Dawn a little. Not even by comparison too much. There's a lot of like little mechanical things I like better in Radiant Dawn. But I think it just doesn't work as a sequel to this game. There's like a lot of like strange changes in like how characters act. And I know like the localization of Radiant Dawn was sort of weird in that like the Japanese game had two different scripts depending on which difficulty you played the game at, which itself is a strange decision. And the English version mostly went with the simplified script from easy mode, but it sort of splits the difference between the two. But it just things like how the Black Knight acts, where like in Path of Radiance, he seems a lot more unambiguously evil. Like he acts like he enjoys tormenting Ike or taunting him, whereas that's not the perception you get in Radiant Dawn at all. They're just it seems like they just kind of didn't know where they were going with this story, even though they did intentionally leave a sequel open. So it's kind of strange.
I think they had originally thought possibly three games in a trilogy too, if I remember correctly. My history with this game, I guess, now that you say it, I can kind of see it. But I think because I had played with that gap between, playing them in the order that they released, I didn't really think about it as much.
So what you're saying is we should have got a Wii U game.
Yeah,
this should have been the sequel to.
Well, I think there should have been one in between. I think there should have been
maybe something in between the two, and maybe they just skipped the in between one. Yeah, it is kind of. They do kind of. It is interesting, isn't it? Yeah, you say that. I didn't really thought about it, but.
And I think this is part of this is actually, I think, the beginning of a long-standing trend in Fire Emblem games of attempting to kind of tell two different sides of the same story and failing at it. I think this is a problem they keep running back into.
Except for they keep adding sides to the story.
Yeah,
Three houses has like
mostly
3 sides.
Mostly this is a story concern. I think mechanically the game's fine. I was pleasantly surprised. Like I was always told this is one of the easier games, so I played on hard mode because that's what Radiant Dawn calls normal mode anyway. It was actually, I think, par for the course for what I'd expect from like the GBA Fire Emblem games, at least.
I think it's a little harder than the GBA ones.
Yeah, I mean that's weird because I'd seen some people calling it like one of the easiest. I don't know if that's just based on easy mode.
This is a baby game.
I will say it does throw a ton of units at you. Mm-hmm. So if that's maybe your basis for it, but I mean, like getting to the final boss, like it was a slog because I could barely damage him, and like Ike capped his strength. Like that's just, you pretty much have to wait for Ether to trigger. Like you're not getting anywhere otherwise.
Yeah,
because nobody else can even hurt him. Just Ike, the dragons, and whatever Lagoo's king you recruit at the very end. So, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm glad I got to play it. It was an interesting experience. I don't think it really changes my overall assessment of where Fire Emblem is, though, because ultimately this is an old game.
Well, right. If anything, it's gonna further reinforce your opinion.
The other thing, I just yesterday started streaming Armored Core 2, so I am back on streaming Armored Core on Mondays, playing the PS2 games now, and really enjoying it. I was kind of surprised how much more natural it felt to me from the PS1 games when it's not that different. I'd forgotten that this is the game that introduced overheating, which maybe that's a hot take. I actually think it's kind of a cool mechanic. Even though it's irritating to overheat a lot. It's just because your weapons can heat up the opponent, it's another way that weapons differentiate besides just raw attack power.
Yeah, it adds another factor in.
It gives you another consideration to how you're building as well. So I really like that. I just really like Armored Core. I'm really excited to play the whole series. So I want to keep going with that. I don't know that I'll be streaming on Saturdays anymore, especially with our game night coming up one Saturday a month. So it'll probably just be Armored Core on Mondays for the foreseeable future. Maybe some other stuff as a surprise. Um, but I also, while I was on vacation and while I was waiting for Adventures of Elliot to arrive, was playing the Castlevania Dominus collection. And I'd wanted to replay Portrait of Ruin, especially because the upcoming Bloodstained looks like it's kind of a revisit of that idea, having two characters as a pair. But for whatever reason, maybe just because it was the first one to come out on this collection, I booted up Dawn of Sorrow. And because Elliot took a long time to arrive, I wound up finishing the game. I reached a point where I was like 70% of the way through, and I'm like, I just need to finish it at this point.
I think so. I saw somebody else play. It might have been Tim is playing this collection as well right now.
Yeah, the DS games.
I think.
Yeah, Dawn of Sorrow is now. I knew going in, the game I remember liking the most out of the 3DS games is Order of Ecclesia, which is the last one. But I ultimately like all three of these games. They're all Castlevania at its peak before they stopped making 2D Metroidvania Castlevania games. And Dawn of Sorrow, I kind of immediately remembered why I didn't like it as much as Aria of Sorrow, the game before it on the GBA. And it's one of those situations where, kind of like Mega Man Star Force, where it's impossible not to think like this is just a worse version of what came before it. But then you realize it's still fun. And a lot of that comes down to the fact, I was talking to you guys about this on Friday night when we were playing Dokapon, I think, that the game kind of like encourages you to grind in a way that's not very fun, because you get souls as a random drop from enemies, and they're often very rare. But this game has like a weapon upgrade tree, which requires specific enemy souls. And some of these enemies only show up at like 2 or 3 locations in the whole castle. So you pretty much have to grind. You have to exit the room, re-enter the room, kill the thing, do that 100 times, and then you finally get your thing you need to upgrade your sword.
We did talk about this because I was making the comparison to the original Bloodstained game. Had something similar to this.
Yeah, and Aria of Sorrow did that, but it didn't have the weapon upgrade tree, which I think really kind of like reinforces that, where it felt like you could just... The thing with Aria of Sorrow is, to me, that gave me the impression you can kind of play the game without worrying about getting specific souls. Although I think there's like 2 you need to get the good ending. They're not hard to get though. And it kind of just shapes your playthrough. Like, oh, I actually, got the boomerang skeleton this time. Maybe I'll use that. Whereas in this game, it's more like, well, if you're going to do anything, you kind of need to like get these in this order. I also just don't care for the total castle layout. There's just something about it I don't like. And then there's this touchscreen mechanic that felt arbitrary and unnecessary. There is also the issue of the art style, which isn't that different, but it feels just a little more cartoony. And this goes for Portrait of Ruin as well. It looks pretty much the same.
This could be a DS thing, though.
Well, I think Order of Ecclesia looks a lot better.
That's
Order
the last
of Ecclesia shifted. It's not just graphics, though. I think it's just the way the art style itself looks. Order of Ecclesia looks almost a little bit more like a painting, whereas Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin look like an anime, and not a particularly high budget anime, I would say.
Konami's always been kind of like overcorrecting things, kind of like the Circle of the Moon with like on GBA, starting out really dark.
Well, a lot of that's because the GBA wasn't backlit, so it made it so much worse.
I don't think they were thinking about it when they
Playing it
designed
that
it.
way.
So then whatever, you get by the time you get Aria of Sorrow and what's the other the other GBA game?
Harmony of Dissonance.
Harmony of Dissonance. Yeah, they look totally different than Circle of the Moon.
Yeah, that's true.
They definitely swung the other direction, and then they kind of like the music isn't as good because it's not using the sampling anymore.
So all that criticism, and yet I got 100% map completion and put it to bed. Looked up the hidden walls just so I could get that last 0.5% I was missing.
Yeah.
And I even started on Portrait of Ruin afterwards, which is another game like I kind of remember what I didn't like, but I love the partner mechanic. I think it's so cool that I'm actually really enjoying it. Because this game actually kind of breaks from the pure Castlevania Metroid style. It's kind of like Metroid Fusion in that way, where it has a lot of sub areas that are kind of self-contained. So you could also compare it to Mario 64, actually, because the big thing here is this other vampire has taken over Dracula's castle, and he's put all these magic paintings in it. And so you go to these different paintings, and you blue skidoo into the paintings.
It's in the future
it's a whole
too,
sub-level. This is in the 1940s. So the
Okay.
Sorrow games are in the future. They're in like 2030 something.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Actually, I'd forgotten this. Portrait of Ruin is technically a direct sequel to Bloodlines on the Genesis.
Okay.
Because it takes apparently they established this thing where like anytime lots of people in the world die at once, Dracula's castle reappears. So Bloodlines takes place in World War One, and Portrait of Ruin takes place just after World War II. And the main, one of the two main characters is Jonathan Morris, and he is the son of John Morris from Bloodlines. And it's kind of a spoiler, but the other Bloodlines characters also factor in if you haven't played it. So, it's kind of cool. There's a lot. I was actually looking up the other stuff too. This game has 2 different alternate modes, and because how a lot of these games have like a different character you can play as, like you play through. You can play through Aria of Sorrow and Julius mode as Julius Belmont.
Yeah.
So, and that's another thing. Actually, Dawn of Sorrow's alternate mode has 3 characters in it. It's actually kind of like Castlevania 3. So you can play as Julius, Alucard, because he's still around because he's immortal.
He's always around.
And Yoko. And Yoko basically plays like Sypha did in Castlevania 3.
Oh, nice.
And then, but Portrait of Ruin has 2 alternate modes. It has Sisters mode, where you play as the 2 vampire sisters that are bosses in the game. And it also has a mode where you play as Richter and Maria from Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night. So I don't know that I've ever played through any of these games in entirety in the alternate modes. That might make a fun stream in the future, because those usually go way faster. Because you typically don't have to actually level up. It's more like you just gain stat boosts every time you beat a boss, I think.
Yeah.
So they usually go fast, kind of like a classic Castlevania in a way. You don't even have to beat every boss either. You can just go straight for the final boss if you're confident. But yeah, that's a lot of stuff that I've been playing, and none of it is Glory of Heracles, unfortunately. So
I was just gonna say, neither of you mentioned.
I will challenge Dan to finish Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon before I finish Glory of Heracles. See if he can do it.
We'll have to post it because he's not here to accept your challenge.
That's right. So I do want to quick apologize if anybody's been putting anything in the chat. We were talking. The chat has glitched out on me. All I get is it just starts flashing Flightsy's last message that I can see is "Curse you, entropy," and that is it. And everything after that, like it's just flashing that it like appears, disappears, appears, disappears.
Yeah,
And
mine's
I
doing
keep
that.
trying to get in and out of it, and it's still not working.
Yeah, I
So
could go a little bit further in it.
okay,
Tim did say that he was the one that was playing it, but he moved on to
okay.
play Elliot in Citizen Sleeper. And then
Or
he also,
Heracles, says Flightsy. I see it, but my chat is doing something really weird at the very bottom of the scroll
yeah,
bar.
that's what mine is too. Yeah, we're
Um,
having some kind of deal with
Okay,
the
so
browser.
sounds like
it's a
yours is doing
Riverside
something, but
issue, I
mine
think.
I can't go any further down than Flightsy. So I was like,
Tim thanked me for saying
there's
his name
anything
because I
else.
woke him up. I guess we made him fall asleep.
So
Anyway, that's a lot, but we do have our community couch. Do we have music for the community couch?
Nope, no
Okay,
music.
we'll just go right into it. I'm going to hit these fast. We did get a lot, and we want to give shout outs to all the people who responded.
absolutely.
So starting with Savannah the Hyena Queen, says, been playing Mario Galaxy for the challenge, but after that, I've got to get back to the backlog. Mario Galaxy 2, Mario and Luigi Brothership, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, Persona 3 Portable, Omori, Sea of Stars, etc., etc., etc. I'm a busy gal. Add Deltarune Chapter 5 to the list as well, though hopefully that won't take too long.
Sounds like she's gonna play Galaxy like I did. Just back
That's
to
a lot of
back.
stuff to play.
Yeah, I mean she's gonna be that's like 400 hours worth of stuff easy. she's talking about. So good luck to her. For sure.
And then Games with Coffee says, working on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but took a break to play Star Fox. After Rebirth, I'm going to switch to Clair Obscure, Expedition 33. Followed that by Mina the Hollower, and then Hades and Chained Echoes. This is just kind of a side note. It made me think about it, but I bought Chained Echoes physically for the Switch 4 years ago from, I think it's First Press Games, and they've never delivered that game.
Oh wow.
I'm still waiting. I think I've got a Steam code as like an apology. And then I seen the other day that I think it's Super Rare Games, the one out of the UK, is now offering Chained Echoes again physically. I guess they dropped First Press as a publisher and moved on to get the game published. But now it's like, man, I really don't know if I want to pay again because I think I paid like $70 because this is.
So there's no way to offer any kind of refund. You just have to.
I have asked, and they just kind of are ghosting everyone. And because like this game was in pounds, it's like I was on the opposite side of the conversion rate this time, so I paid more for my copy of Chained Echoes that never got delivered.
Crazy. But. All right, Octorock says I finally got to dig into Mina the Hollower. I'm about 15 hours in and having the time of my life. The game scratches such a specific type of itch for me, and I'm sure it would do the same for veteran gamers of a certain era. It somehow feels authentically retro and yet wholly unique at the same time. As much as the game is touted as a top-down Zelda-like, it borrows such as much DNA from the likes of NES games like Dragon Warrior, Star Tropics, Castlevania, and Ninja Gaiden. So as you might expect, I'm in heaven playing this game. You have me at Dragon Warrior and Star Tropics, but I'd have to see because everything I've watched on that game, I'm intrigued in the game, but not enough to quite pull the trigger. But when you bring up Dragon Warrior and Star Tropics, you really scratch a certain part of an itch for me. But I'd like to see it because I'm not seeing how those games fit into it.
I'm not really sure why he says Dragon Warrior.
I don't see any Dragon Warrior. Star Tropics I could see as in that you're it's an action like fighting wise. Like an action RPG, I guess.
It's an action RPG with exploration and sometimes
so that one makes
obtuse
sense.
hints.
Ninja Gaiden is like a really good, like for difficulty wise, This is very Ninja Gaiden like.
I don't know. So I'd like to hear him dig into a little bit more of these comparisons. Um, you guys might convince me yet. So we'll see. I'm a little worried because I'm just not as good at games as I used to be, and
Oh, you could toggle all the toggles.
I know
And
Shane.
there are
I
all
would
the
have to do the
toggles.
toggles.
You could
I'd
be
have to do the
invincible if you
toggles.
want.
Yeah, I'd have to do the toggles, or at least some of the toggles, to make it a little
Just do
more
them all.
approachable for me. Yeah,
Make yourself invincible. You just plow through
right,
everything with
right.
Mina.
So we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Trey says, I bounced onto Star Fox and Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance since getting the GBA Castlevania double pack last week.
Ooh,
It's my
that's a
first
good one.
Castlevania and my first Star Fox 64 playthrough. I hope to
Nice.
return to Mina the Hollower after, but Rhythm Heaven is coming soon. That's
Nobody-
this Thursday.
None of us mentioned Star Fox. I know if Dan were here, we would have heard all about
They'd
that.
be
I
rolling
didn't
over.
get Star Fox yet.
I did not pick it up yet either.
So I have Star Fox, and I'm in the very first mission, and then I like put it off to the side for a minute, and then I started playing Shadow of the Colossus, and I never looked back. So now I got to go back to it.
Huh.
Dan would be very upset with me.
Yeah, I played through the demo, and I was like, "Oh, this
Yeah.
is cool," but I have heard a lot of good about the multiplayer.
Yeah, I've heard it's
So-
fun.
Let's see.
Beer Cerveza says, I've been playing through the games in the Resident Evil bundle, finished Requiem, then played through Biohazard, and just rolled credits on Village this weekend. All of these games are amazing. I was certain at least one of the games in the bundle was going to be a dud, but I was wrong. Requiem is definitely a contender for Game of the Year. So I think I want to say that Eric Plunk also has been playing through these.
Yeah.
He might have completed them or not. I bought them, and I think I started Biohazard, but I didn't make it very far before I got pulled away to something else. But I think I'm going to try to see if I can see if my son wants to play these, like hand the controller back and forth playing it and see, I think it's because these are more like cinematic. This is like a good movie game. But they're definitely on the list. I want to get to them.
Drex1981 said, I've been playing the new Star Fox remake, which has been really good. Also, Marathon, Dispatch, Mario Kart World, and Final Fantasy VI for my SNES. Hey, we could chat about that. And also Street Fighter 6. I've been competing in tournaments. So I forgot he's talked about that before. He competes in different fighting tournaments, I think.
Yeah, he does some of the local stuff around here.
Okay.
I think I've went with him before to a Smash tournament and got destroyed. But I think he's more into like all of the normal roundup of fighting games like that you would see at Evo.
Right.
So yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
That's cool. We get a nice variety of people with a lot of different variety of game genres that they like to play. So it's actually kind of nice in our Discord.
Yeah, I like
It's not
fighting
all the
games,
same.
but I can't stick with them long enough to get truly good.
Right.
Anything
Yeah.
besides Smash, at least. Even then, there's a long way to go. Your Wallet's ambassador says, I've been playing Super Mario Galaxy, trying to get 242 stars as quickly as possible for Retro Rewind. I've also been playing an archipelago run with some college friends, where I'm playing Mario Luigi Superstar Saga. My backlog includes Deltarune Chapter 5, Rhythm Heaven Groove. Hey, it can't be backlog if it's not out yet. Maybe the demo.
He's like getting ahead of himself.
The rest of the Mario and Luigi games after Bowser's Inside Story and every game I own.
He did get the 242 stars though, so he can cross that off the list.
He basically beat the whole game in one day as Luigi. Because I
Yeah.
think he got like all 100 something
That's a lot of
stars.
stars.
Yeah, that's a lot of stars for one. I mean, I guess once you just got done doing it with Mario, you've got back
Maybe
in the
that
groove.
backlog won't last too long. I don't know. I don't think
Well,
Rhythm
every
Heaven
game he
Groove is going
owns,
to
I
be a
guess it
super
depends
long
on how
game.
every game he
Yeah.
owns, how
How
many
many
of
games
those
do you
are.
own?
That backlog for me would be eternity.
Right? Yeah.
All right, so that does it for our community couch and for episode 150. Thank you for listening to the RetroLogic podcast. We are proudly part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. If you like what you hear, you can check us out on Blue Sky at retrologicgames.bsky.social. You're also welcome to jump into our friendly and 100% non-toxic Discord community. We'd like to know what games you're playing, old and new. And the link to that is also in the Blue Sky bio and at our website, retrologic.games.
Yes.
Until next time, goodbye, good night.
See you later.
Bye now.
You know how the chat is like wigging out? Now it's doing it to the beat of the music.
Mine stopped.
Oh, mine's still doing it.
Mine's still stuck on that message way up.
Mine just
Far
keeps
over far.
bouncing.
I have no idea how much is
It
underneath
keeps
that.
scrolling
I
up
can't-
and back down.
I can't. It just, yeah, it's just doing that with Flight C's curse you entropy message.